excited to have the honor to close out the night for you guys, and of course, I am going to ask the two most asked questions that I get. One question is very recent, and the other question is the same for about 6 years. I get that question everywhere, all the time. I get emails with the same question, but let's start with the first one. Everyone's asking, how's my wife? I heard this question here 20 times, so thank you so much for your care. For those of you that don't know, she was supposed to speak, okay? And unfortunately she can't be here. It's because she had an operation. In fact, she went public, so I can just say it. Her breast implants were leaking. The point is, we didn't know. So we flew all the way to Costa Rica, and we did some, we want to do some stem cell therapy stuff, we donated our stem cells and everything. And in the routine scan, it came out that, oh, wow, it would have been a good, thing to look at, because that doesn't look good. So at the end of the day, we were very blessed, honestly, that there was another doctor that is one of the top surgeons in the world when it comes to breast implants and everything. So she did that, and the operation took instead of 2 hours, 6.5 hours. So it was pretty crazy, and anyways, everything went good in the end. I was freaking out because I called at 10 a.m., 11 a.m., midnight, 1 a.m. in the morning, no one's picking up. I was like, that's not good, okay? I was supposed to come in the next day, because I was in New York, and it was a mess. Anyways, long story short, she's okay. Now it's been a month, but she's still recovering. That's why she can't be here. She just throws up for no good reason every few hours. And anyways, that's what it is, but we check her again, so it's all good. Don't worry. If you do have breast implants, you can just say, maybe check them, because it's really a good thing. Honestly, the doctor said it could have been really, really, really bad, in terms of poisoning and everything. So anyways, just for you guys to know about that, okay? Now, thank you. Second question concerning the business, okay? Here's what I get asked all the time. Danien, tell me about what? The 90-day run, okay? Tell me about the 90-day run. Can you tell me what it is? Can you tell me how you did it? Can you tell me exactly what it is I have to do? How do I plan it? How do I do it? Etc., etc., etc. Now, the reason why I do get that question is because I had incredible results with it. And I really feel tonight, after having incredible amount of content, that really I do have a gift for you, because that thing has changed my life. I think network marketing has changed our lives, all of us, in a certain way, some in the personal development field, some financially, some relationally, but the 90-day run has been a tool within the network marketing that allowed me to achieve incredible results. I want to share with you what those results are. I haven't done it once, I have done it now 4 times, and every single time I had incredible results. The first time, I jumped 5 paid ranks within 55 days. I'm going to share you exactly how and what I did. It's exactly as I say, okay? The second time, I jumped 3 ranks in 3 months, and I'm going to share you exactly what I did. The third and fourth time, I did it with my team, and in my group, I had people reach the rank of diamond, which is the highest position. The second time, again, I had another person reach the rank of diamond. In our company in Europe, there's only 9 diamonds. 7 of them are in my group. So that's just good results. I'm just sharing that, not to say, look at me, but really to empower you on how powerful this tool can be, okay? But now I want to tell you the story on how that happened. Now, I wasn't a super successful starter in network marketing when I began. I was 18 years old, and obviously full of dreams, and in the beginning no one would really believe me about network marketing. So I have the same experience that probably many of you had in the beginning. The first meeting, 2003, okay? I went home and I was so excited, and I literally was convinced that the next week I'm going to enroll 100 people. In my heart, I knew that's what's going to happen, okay? And I went out and I told everyone, and no one signed up. Okay, except my friend, because I gave him the money. Even the people that I was convinced, I had this one friend, he was really extrovert, I was really introvert, and I was like, man, if he signs up, his name was Heiko, I was like, if Heiko's in, I'm done. Okay, and we all have these friends in the beginning. We think our uncle, my brother, my father, if he's going to do it, it's going to be amazing. And then at the end of the day, most of us are left with a big disappointment in the beginning. Truth is, for me, and I have to say that, is it was such a big dream, network marketing, that I could really never let it go. In fact, for me, my why changed many, many times over the course of the last 16 years. But the direction of the why is always the same, and it's the same what Igor shared with us. It's freedom. It's just freedom. I mean, I don't know how many of you hate to be told what you have to do or what you cannot do, or if you are still in a job, and I can speak very openly here, we're a very network marketing intimate group. I hated having a job. I worked for a big Deutsche Bank, without saying the name, okay? And dude, how can they even tell me what time I'm supposed to be hungry? How come they tell me to be there in my office at the time before I even wanted to wake up? Now, funny part is, my very, 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 very first thing in network marketing that I wanted to achieve was never having to work again. I just hated to go to work, and I just didn't want to go to work again. So I started to work network marketing to not have to work ever again. Now, that's funny because they told me we can achieve that. What they didn't tell me is that you change your personality to be a person that will never stop working. So, also, I hated to wake up early in the morning. What they didn't tell me is that you're going to be so excited that you actually can't sleep. So it is so funny how when you change, the things change, but if the motivation changes, it's a whole different game. And I know some of you are nodding, you feel with me. For me, network marketing is number one priority. To achieve this dream in network marketing is number one priority. And many times I see that people just don't succeed because it's not a high enough priority. When I talk about things like when I hear things like work-life balance, I love the concept, just never experienced it. Okay, for me, there is no balance when you try to achieve something incredible. For example, a thing that I constantly realize is that my network marketing business has a higher priority than sleep. That's why my number one comment when people come to me is like, "Well, Danny, you look tired." And I'm thinking, yes, that's good. That's what I want to hear. Like, it's good. I'm not retired yet, right? I'm working. And many times, yes, I try to get my 6-7 hours of sleep, but that's when I have time if there's nothing else, which really never happens, right? So the point is, it feels like a mission to me, and it has a really, really high priority. Now, in the beginning, I was running around putting flyers in mailboxes of people. Remember, that was before Facebook. I'm really a young guy, and yet I feel so old right now, okay? I'm 34 years old. We didn't have Facebook. So I had no money, I had nothing, so I cut little yellow pieces of paper looking for 20 to 25 people that want to lose weight, and put it in mailboxes of people. The first meeting, the guy said, "You have to use your product in order to be successful." I couldn't eat my first product because it came in the starter kit, and I had to sell it. So I bought a pack of protein bars, okay, for €14.71. And I ate one bar every time I put 1,000 flyers in the mailboxes of people. It was winter. When you do that in Germany, your hands freeze. It's really, really fun. And but it didn't matter. Like, I always did that, and I made a few €100, and it took me 2 years to make €1,000 in a single month. So it wasn't fast. Yet it felt incredible because my pocket money was like €20, and I made 300, then I made 400, 500, 600. When I finished school, in my final test, I sold products to my testing teachers in the main test, okay? And I made €1,000 that month. No one in my school made €1,000 part-time. That was already movie money back then. And network marketing felt to me like movie money all the way up until here, so many years later. My biggest dream, fast forward, at some point was to make $10,000 a month. It was always this magical number from which I knew in my heart, honestly, that's never gonna happen. Come on, honestly, to me, $10,000 a month, that'd be too good to be true. The little voice in my head always would say, "You're not gonna be that lucky." Like, you like it, yes, you can work, yes, but come on, really? The guy on stage is gonna do that. You're not gonna do that. For so many years, I thought that way, and it took an incredible amount of personal development to overcome that thought that I'm not good enough, and to actually understand that I will make it guaranteed. And all it needed for me was a proof of that new belief system. So the new belief system was, I am going to be incredibly successful for sure, because. And if you form a new belief sentence and you end it with because, then your subconscious will do what? Automatically search for answers. Automatically search for answers. And what I came up with, simple thing, nothing spectacular, but changed my mindset, was the point where it said, because I just won't give up. Because I just won't give up. I refuse to give up. Today we learned that everything that's on Instagram is true. And there's this quote that says, it's impossible to stop the guy who won't give up. And that became me, and I started to verbalize it. I spoke to people, and I said, hey, you're probably wondering why you should sign up with me. I can tell you. There's people, they make more money than me. Yes. There's people more experienced than me. Yes. There's people that can probably explain the opportunity better, have more knowledge, better context. Yes. But there's one thing I can tell you about me. If you get started, we'll start this together, and we'll finish it together. We're going to go all the way. It's your decision, and we will finish what we started. And that's the one thing that I cannot tell you about anyone else, because all I hear is big talk, and then they're gone tomorrow. I see a big check, but where are they 2 years from now? And that is what I can promise you. And I realized that that became my motivator, my convincing point on why I knew I could be successful. So that changed this whole part. So I signed up, I started building this team, which I have today, yesterday, 9 years ago, 21st of September 2010. I achieved $10,000 after 9 months. I have to all skip this story because I got to get to the 90-day game plan. And then something interesting happened. After achieving this, at some point, I lost a leader. Did that ever happen? I lost a leader, big guy, like my main guy. I endorsed him, everything, he was literally living with me. And we're building. The guy left. Different reasons. End of story. I felt stuck in my business, and I dropped down in paid rank. I'm just going to give you this real quick. So there was a position called Gold, and there was a position called Ruby, there was a position called Emerald, a position called Diamond, okay? Now, then was a position called Blue Diamond, exactly. So I had this position, okay? And I dropped all the way back to Gold, okay? My income here at the top was something like 20,000 euros. And my income back here was about $1,000, $2,000 a week. So back to like 5K, okay? Now, anyways, you can not read what I write. So, I know that's really shitty to talk about, but when you stand on stage and you have a rank and you're not paid at that rank, and it starts to become more time and more time and more time and more time, you start really to doubt yourself, right? If you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. You start hating recognition, you don't want to go to the front anymore, and stuff like that. And I was just convinced, if I would just work, if I would just recruit, if I would just do the things I have to do, it is going to change. I recruited about 4 people every month. That's not so much, I know. But I've done that consistently all my career until today. Really, literally, it's 4 a month. It's what it is. And for about 16 months, I'm recruiting and trying to change this, and it just wouldn't change. Like, I started to doubt me, network marketing, everything. I put in a little bit of volume. There's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 CV more, boom, it goes back to where it was. 16 months. Nothing would change. Really stuck in network marketing. Then I went to an event, and at that event, I heard the idea of a 90-day game plan. Basically what happened was Eric Worre, we've heard his name before, on stage, talking about how 90 days can change your life. And I was like, yeah, right. 16 months couldn't change my paid rank. How can 90 days change my life, to be honest? And I know many of you are super skeptical on how that is possible. So the thing went on, and he starts bringing up this $1 million earners on stage. And back then, I didn't see so many $1 million earners before, okay? But there was so many on stage, and he asked him, hey, can you remember a period of your time, of your business, where in a condensed period of time, you had this massive growth? And everyone was like, yes, 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 yes. I was like, whoa, that's a new thing, like news to me. I never heard that before. Okay, and then he asked, okay, how much percent of your income would you attribute back to that time? There were numbers like 80%, 50%, 30%, 90%, all of it. And I started thinking, 90 days, it's not that long. And the question came up, have you ever given 100%? A true 100%. You know the difference between 99% and 100%? The difference not 1%. The difference is 100%. It's a completely different game. So look at the one guy next to me. I brought one guy to the meeting. And I said, okay bro, honestly, between us, have you ever truly given it 100%? He said, no. I said, it shames me to say, but me neither. I've done a lot. We've done a lot, but 100% is different. 100% is like all out, massive action, nothing else. And Eric proposed this idea, you start at 8 a.m. in the morning, you finish at midnight. If you're full-time, if you're part-time, you go to your job 8 hours, you go back home, you kiss your wife, your kids, you say, I still love you, you go back to work to network marketing business for another 8 hours, and you do that every single day. That was the entire concept I had. So I mapped out for me 2 rules when I got home. First rule, I'm going to give what? 100%. I found really fast that giving 100% is not a one-time decision. It's a constant decision about 20 times during the day. Because you start with 100%, and about 35 minutes later, you catch yourself doing that phone call with 80% energy. So you snap back into that 100%. Okay? So it's a constant. After a few days, it's going to feel like, for me, it felt like an extreme experience. Something like an athlete. I felt like a pro athlete. I felt like someone that's going for Olympia or something. Like it's a real extreme experience. If you cut out every single distraction from your life and you give it a true 100%, that includes a private text message. That everything, you do nothing but work with 100% energy, which is rule 1. Rule 2, only productive activity. If it is non-productive, do it after. I went to the point back then we still had voicemail, okay? I mean mailboxes, like when you call people, okay? And I literally said on the mailbox, I'm working on a super important urgent project in my business at the moment. If you're calling me regarding this, I'm going to call you back probably in the next 4 to 6 minutes. If it's not regarding this, please reach out to me in February. Like literally. And people were like, what is going on? Okay? So, rule number 1, 100%. Rule number 2, productive. Okay? When I started to work, I had this backup plan because I didn't know who would join for my team. It's a crazy idea, right? Who would do 90 days of pain, like for real, right? And so I decided, worst case what I'm gonna do, if no one will do nothing, it'll be just me. Then worst case, my strategy was this. I'm gonna invite 10 people per day and I'm gonna show the plan. And I'm gonna do that for 90 straight days. So that's about, let's say 100 to make it easier. So 100 times 10 is 1,000 people. So if I would personally, myself, completely on fire, excited, with maximum passion, talk to 1,000 people in 3 months, you bet that is gonna be bigger than before, come on. Okay, so that was my exit plan, like if nothing worked, that's what I would do. So I needed to start with a kickstart. So I got home and I did the first 100 voice messages, so I did a voice message to 100 people, like separate, and it took me about 3.5 hours to do that. After that, like I over-motivated, started at 7 a.m., okay? I did that, 10:30 in the morning, I was done. I was sweating. I probably, you know like the Donald Duck comics, when the guy walks around like this? Like, I walk when I'm on the phone. So I was walking around, I was sweating, everything, 10:30 in the morning, first day. I was like, whew, that was a lot of work. I was like, okay, anyways, let's move on. So I did more. At about 2 p.m., the first day, I felt like I'm on this for 3 weeks. I was like, dude, it's not even lunchtime on the first day. Then people started to call back and stuff like that. So I realized it is incredible how much you can get done in a short period of time. Another rule was added to this, which came out pretty soon, because I started asking the question everyone asks, but what exactly should I do? Like, what should I do? And I was remembered something that Tony Robbins always says. Why are you not successful? Why did you fail? And everyone says, I didn't have the money, I didn't have the context. Just now, I could see it in people's eyes. 1,000 people, but who did you call? Right? I don't have the context, I don't have the money, I don't have the connections, I don't have the knowledge, I don't have the energy. I don't have whatever kind of resource. And people blame it on the resource. But it's not the resource the problem. It's your lack of resourcefulness, which is the problem, which is supposed to create the resource. If you don't know who to talk to, it's your fault. Go find someone to talk to. See, in the beginning, Eric talked about from 8 a.m. in the morning until midnight. But I wanted to give it a real 100%, and I somehow felt I cheated because I still got energy in me at midnight, so I continued to work. Till 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. At some point I was like, you know what, why sleep? There is this motivational CD, it's like this guided meditations, okay? I'm not into that, but there is the CD which supposedly in 50 minutes gives you the same amount of deep sleep as 6 hours. I was like, let's try that, okay? And there was this guy that counted down from 1 to 10 and then back up, you know? And I never heard what was the story in the middle because I was so tired and we did it twice a day and we kept working. But then people say, who do you talk to at 4 a.m. in the morning? Well, very simple. Just open your Facebook and you see people marked with a green dot that are still awake. So simple, okay? And you can just ask, are you still awake or again? Because some people are yet awake, some not. Worst case, you go in a different time zone, you talk to these people. So anyways, being resourceful was the third rule. I will never stop my creative flow on what I can do. Now I want to picture that for you, how that looked like, okay? So I did something called brainstorming. Very basic concept, we all know it, okay? Put on your iPhone, 3 minutes, go. And now you write down, don't think, write down every single idea that you have that could possibly produce volume. Anything. Good idea, bad idea, doesn't matter, okay? I mean, I had stuff on there like, okay, call every new sign-up in your business and ask them how they got started and introduce the idea of upgrading the package. Just a simple idea, okay? If you have a weight loss program, why don't I do a special webinar with a special speaker that has authority in this area, invite all the people that want to lose weight right now. How about making a special women call, with empowering female stories? For example, how about inclusion, exclusion? So I could talk to all my team about the 90-day run. I ask who's in, who's out, whoever's in, I put them in a group, and I do a special program with them. For example, I could say anything. I'll just make up anything. Okay, until Friday, we're going to talk to the best real estate agents you guys know. So I want everyone to connect and ask around for the 5 strongest real estate guys in our area, and by Friday, I want to make those 3-way calls. So let's say I have 15 people only, let's say, that would commit to do that. And 15 people get 5 contacts. That's about 75 presentations you can pull out of thin air like that, okay? And more, whatever. Okay, I can do a promotion. I literally had on there, find a rich sheikh in Dubai who'll buy for $1 million. That was also an idea. It didn't happen, but it was on there, okay? Like, I wrote down anything I could think of, okay? Okay, how can I use the promotions? How can I do this? I just want to give you some practical ideas. So after 3 minutes, what I do, I prioritize them. I said, okay, whatever is the best, I do first. But then I found I have all the time in the world because all I do is work for the next 3 months. It's like being in the desert and the only thing you can do is work. So I found only if the idea is really super stupid and a waste of your time, or if it's going against your values, then you delete them. But if not, just take all of the routes. So I found whatever I can imagine to do, I can just do it. I literally had that thought, wow, my aunt doesn't even know what I'm doing. What I thought, right? My aunt doesn't even know what I'm doing. But I snapped into this, if you think it, do it. If you think it, do it. Don't judge it, just do it. And I call my aunt and say, hey aunt, it's crazy that I'm in this business that's changing my life and you don't even know about it. Let's talk about it. And I signed her up that day. It's just a crazy idea. Another thing that was on my list, I was like, I gotta create a package, a new package, something that is enticing, that the whole team will buy. And I bothered Alex Grabov with it back then. I remember that very well. He was in our company. We talked every day. And I was working 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20 hours. And at night, because that pack wasn't ready, we had to manually enter those things into the system. It was insane. Now, what happens when you do that? And I hope I can transmit the right energy into this, because if, like details, you need to plug your phone because if not, it's going to be empty. Like your phone needs to be constantly plugged in. Those batteries are crap if you are using it at that intensity level. Another thing that I found, wow, that's awesome, because you know what I forgot about? That the company will actually pay you when you do volume. I forgot about that. It wasn't my focus. And I realized, note to myself, you will never lack money in a 90-day run. Because once you start, volume will come in, money will come in. Now then what happened? So we went to this crazy intensity. The first week, nothing changed. A week of insane work, nothing changed. Second week, almost nothing changed. I was 14 days running like a lunatic. Literally no result. It was like I'm pulling a tanker or something. Nothing would happen. But I decided that for one time in my life, I'm going to give it a real 100%. For 90 days straight, I will not stop. I'll do anything I can. I'll be creative. I'll be resourceful. I give it 100%. I'll be productive. I do anything. Third week, volume goes up. So third week, I finally go back one rank. Ruby, yay, okay? So I had this vision. This vision was going back to my paid rank, Blue Diamond. That would be just so insane, right? So that was my vision, and I go, and my sponsor calls me. For those of you that know him, Kelvin, he called me and said, bro, if you could do purple diamond, that's the next rank. I mean, I'm just saying. Then I could probably go presidential and be in the top 5 of the company and would just be, I mean, that would be awesome. I said, bro, listen, my dream, okay, is to go back to blue. Purple? Seriously? I have no idea how to do that. And then I said to him, listen, we're going to do this. Okay, I'll say yes. I'll act as if yes. I'm not going to mentally stop myself, but I just want you to hear it once. I have no idea how to do that. Okay, I'm just telling you. But let's just work for it. Let's just do it. So I erased all my goals. I put purple diamond everywhere. I put the volume there. I had every day, like I wrote the volume that I need here, and then I would be creative. I would look at how much money can all my people make if they did whatever kind of actions, qualifications. I called them up. I said, Frank, you wicked. Yes. Okay, perfect. Listen, I got to talk to you. This is so incredible. What was your check last month? $400. Okay, perfect. Look, I just looked at the numbers. You can do $3,800 this month, plus a vacation. He's like, how? I said, well, look at that. This is your volume here. This is the next there. If you do this, you enroll 3 people, and then we do this incentive, blah, 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 blah. And I will start to get creative for my people and start inspiring them to work, which is just another idea. So anyways, we work. And it got to a point where, and for those of you in sports, maybe you understand. I call it flow. I don't even know how to explain it. It's when things work that usually don't work. But the scary part is you know they do. Like I used to play table tennis really like professionally for many years when I was young. And it was just these games where somehow you could be 3 meters behind the table, the thing comes, smash your backhand, and you just smash it back in the corner. You knew before it's going to happen. It happened. You know you can't do that in normal circumstances, but for some reason you can. You know what I'm talking about? Like it's when the regular laws are somehow pausing and you can do whatever. Like if you get your business to that moment, it's insane. So as the story has it, because I don't have a lot of time, I almost made it to purple diamond. And I was about 20,000 CV short, about $30,000 short, which back then was a lot of volume, okay? And I called up Calvin and I said, bro, I don't want to overpromise, but I think I can do it. Like, it's insane, I think I can do it. And he said, bro, I'm so proud of you, that's incredible. And I said, yes. And he said, but there's a problem. I said, what do you mean, what's the problem? He said, the problem is my Hong Kong team's not performing as I thought they would. Can you please go 1 rank more and hit white diamond? I said, right, dude, it's Friday night. It's 2 more days in this week. It's a weekly system, right? 2 more days, bro. I don't even know how much. That was 70,000 CV I had to do, about 140,000 US in sales in 2 days. Back then, impossible. Impossible. And I told him, okay, look, I want you to hear it once. I have no idea how to do that, but I'm just going to say yes. And I erased the goal, and I was thinking, be resourceful, 100% energy. Okay, what does everyone wants to do? And back then, I had a really young team, lots of guys, Germany and stuff like that. We're like, okay, what is the sickest club in the country? And it was a club called Micro in Frankfurt. Like, to even get in was hard, because it was like all celebrities and stuff. And I was like, you know what? We're gonna make a project. We call it, very creative, Project 70,000. We have 2 days, guys. We're gonna make it happen. 2 days. If we create $70,000 CV, not only we're gonna make the biggest party the world has ever seen in the Micro, no, we're gonna shut down the club for us. And here's what I need you to understand. I had no idea how to even do that. I didn't even know who could make that happen or how much that was. I have no idea. What I knew is I would make it happen because if I promise, I'll do it. But see, it's all about that resourcefulness. Or, you would say 2 days. What can you do in 2 days? Come on, it's the weekend. Bro, 2 days for us was like 2 months. And I would talk like that. I would talk to people, look, we can speak again. He said, sure, let's talk tomorrow. I was like, no. I mean in the next 15 minutes. Like, I started to talk in 15 minutes increments. And what happened, people felt like, well, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll talk 6 more times until then. Because everything was condensed in a shorter period of time. End of story. We did it. Now, we did it. My income jumped from $1,000 to $2,000 a week, $5,000 a month. Within 55 days, the last 4 weeks onto $98,000, and the total time of 55 days, $124,000. Now, that was so much, my heart started beating looking at the check. Like, I would pull it up, I was like, right. And the best was that last night. I gotta tell you about that last night. So we put in that volume, and you have to understand, I was tired. Like if you go without sleep, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. So I remember having all these sheets in my head. I'm in a hotel in Frankfurt, I have these sheets in my head, and I have all the faxes would come in, and emails would come in, and everything. And we got all these enrollments, and all of a sudden I start feeling really dizzy, and I'm like, oh my God, this is not good. And I was like, and I remember thinking, don't fall down. You're the only guy having all this volume in your hand. Everyone depends on you, okay? And I kind of made it happen, and we put it all in. And in the end, the only thing I wanted was sleep. And when we put it in, it was like 4 a.m. in the morning or something like that. The system wouldn't update automatically. Oh, yeah. You know that problem, right? So I literally put that stuff, and I click update. I was like, why that's impossible. Come on, I gotta see this. And somebody's like, okay, I gotta go to sleep. I can't wait anymore. I go to bed and I can't sleep. Can you imagine? So I go back and I keep waiting. 9 a.m. White diamond. I look at that check of that 1 week, $46,000. And I still couldn't sleep. Here's what I did. I put on my sunglasses. I looked really bad. And I went out, Wuppertal, Germany, and I went for breakfast. And I walked around and I looked at all these people going to work, stuck in traffic, sat down, ordered 2 eggs, lots of ketchup that morning. Looked at these people and I felt like I just won the network marketing gold medal and no one even knows. They have no idea what just happened. And what happened that event, what I realized, and it happened one single run, that if you really decide to give it 100%, and you tap into that resourcefulness you have, you can do anything you want. Anything you want. 4 years ago, we had a switching company because one company acquired the one I was with. So I didn't leave, but we got into a new sphere. For 14 months, I was paid at a really great level, but the same amount of cycles. 14 months, I couldn't go up. Do you realize the same story? I got stuck on a good level now, with a lot of money, but I got stuck. I applied it again. I just want to read you those cycles, okay? In July 2016, month number 14 with 200 cycles plus 210 to whatever, okay? August, 1,000 cycles, 5 times more. September, 1,600. October, 1,700. November, 2,900. 3,000 is the max out. How? Same principle. Same principle. And then those other ones where I did it with the team, it's the same thing. So I want to close with this, because we don't have enough time. I want to propose the idea to you today, to use this event that you have seen here tonight and yesterday, to launch your 90-day run. The next 90 days, they're just going to pass by. Bro, they're going to pass by whether you use it or not. But what about that question, what was possible if you just do it once?
We are in
Like,
it.
what would happen if you would do it once? The decision is yours. The thing is extreme. And most people will say you're crazy. But after that, everyone wants the life you have.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.